Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm on live on YouTube and TikTok, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Ruben Amorim and has he actually made Manchester United any better? Pretty much, let's just all talk about Ruben Amorim. Now, personally for me, you can look at it two different ways, whether Ruben Amorim has made Manchester United better. Statistically, you can definitely argue no, and definitely you can argue about the culture that he's brought, the standards, the discipline, the way he's kind of transformed the team. I feel like there's a lot of talking points and very controversial takes that many fans can definitely have at the moment. Now, the way I look at it is that I personally just back Ruben Amorim no matter what. I think any fan that doesn't back him this early into his career at Manchester United, it's just silly, is the best way to put it. Because with Ruben Amorim, the way that he's not been dealt a good hand, that's the best way to probably describe it. That's with Amorim, he's pretty much been dealt with a team that was orchestrated and run by Erik Ten Hag. And all that happened was that Erik Ten Hag bought all these players and he failed with his own team. Ruben Amorim has come in with this team that is a complete mess, and he's struggling to perform with them as well. Obviously, since he's took over in November, we aren't doing too good. That's probably the best way to describe it. We are sitting 15th in the Premier League. We are still in the Europa League and we are still in the FA Cup, but we're also out of the Carabao Cup. But I feel like that progress is definitely questionable under Ruben Amorim, because we definitely have gone backwards since Erik Ten Hag was sacked, and definitely since Ruud van Nistelrooy took over, because he kind of steadied the ship and made us all believe that it was going to be okay after Erik Ten Hag actually left Manchester United. But let's be honest, it has got a lot worse. And how do you think he changes it? I mean, it's really hard because obviously you look at the game against Spurs last weekend, we have 12 senior players actually available to use at the moment, and the rest are youth academy graduates. Now, for me, I generally believe that some of these kids are definitely better than some of the first team. You know, the great thing about having youth kids in your squad for me is when because these kids will run through brick walls for you. These kids, and I feel that it'll give Ruben Amorim a lot less pressure to deal with as well, because the media can then go, oh, he's actually playing the kids. You know, if he's losing, then you could say, oh, we're giving this youth player a chance, whether it's Kone, whether it's Chido Obi-Martin, whether it's Morehouse, or even Heaven, the new centre-back we signed in January from Arsenal. So for me, it's definitely, you can definitely look at it and see that with the likes of Ruben Amorim, if he was to introduce more youth kids into the team, then we definitely would see maybe a better team. Because right now, for me, our biggest issue is actually dealing with the likes of the midfield. The midfield is so open at the moment. And Jack comment on YouTube saying he's made them better for Liverpool as it's a guaranteed 3 points. Nice one, mate. Yeah, that's probably true, because United, like, who cannot beat United at the moment? I mean, I'm looking at it, and our next few fixtures, I'm really not looking forward to. Everton are absolutely bossing it under David Moyes at the moment, and we've got Fulham next week in the FA Cup. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough to see how Ruben Amorim can actually stir it around, and financially as well, because you've got so many of these ITK accounts on Twitter and all these other, like, you could say, influencers talking about we need to sign this player, we need to sign this player, we need to sign this player to make us better. Financially, we're not going to be able to do that if we haven't got any money. Being in the Champions League or being in the Europa League increases it so much. And let's be honest, United are not going to get top 6 this season. It's very frustrating to watch because we are not going to get top 6. I mean, I doubt we'll even make top 10 at this rate, because you can't actually look at this team with the injuries we've also got and see how are we going to actually get any better. Because I just don't see how we're going to get any better at this moment. And this is why I'm saying with Ruben Amorim, we need to talk about what he needs to do to change it. And for me, he doesn't need to change the formation, because we brought him in for a reason. We brought him in to, use his system. But unfortunately, we've got players who just can't play this system. And me and my granddad, I watch majority of the games with him. We talk about that these players should be able to play anywhere. They're professional footballers. They should know exactly where to play, how to play. They should be able to adapt no matter what. I mean, I play Saturday football. I play right back. And for me, no matter what, if my captain or my manager who's on the sidelines will tell us, right, Daniel, play left back, play right back, play right mid. Like, even though I'm more of a right back, I'll still try my hardest no matter what to suit that system, whether I'm going more forward, whether I'm staying back and defending. It definitely depends. And for me, that's just as an average, not even semi-pro footballer by any means. That's just me just playing 11 aside and just trying my hardest every single game that I play. And it's frustrating because you've got the likes of Diogo Dalot, who's played left wing back for so long and just looked bang average. You've got the likes of Casemiro and Bruno, who can't keep a midfield too like compact. We're just getting absolutely outrun in that midfield. And that's why I think we're really lacking in energy at the moment as well. And Ruben Amorim's got to change that. He can't be looking. I think the Spurs game should be, and I'm praying it's a massive wake-up call for him, that with the likes of Ruben Amorim, you're looking at that team that played against Spurs, and he's got to sit there and be like, you know what, I cannot keep playing these same 11 players week in, week out, because it's either going to cause more injuries or it's going to cause more issues for me. So this is why I'm saying if he actually starts playing more of the youth kids in midfield or up front, he'll get a lot more leniency because it gives United fans something more excited to watch. It gives the media something to talk about. Oh, this youth player played, this youth player played. How do we talk about them? And it also tricks the opposition as well, because when we look at it, you've got the likes of Everton. If they've got hours and hours and hours upon end of data and research on Manchester United this season. But if Ruben Amorim was to introduce, like Dorgu, for example, Dorgu's only played 2 games for United so far, 45 minutes against Leicester in the FA Cup, and was it 90 minutes he played against Spurs at the weekend. So 135 minutes, let's say, bang on average. Dorgu's played 135 minutes for Manchester United. So just over 2 hours of data they've got on him. But if Manchester United bring on Chido Obi-Martin, Moyes might be looking at his guys and be like, right, how do we defend against this guy? And they're like, well, we haven't got any data on him, boss. Like, what are we supposed to do? We haven't got any research on him. And for me, I just feel like that Ruben Amorim has got a bit of an opportunity to use the kids. Now, I feel like that he protected them against the likes of Spurs because Chido Obi-Martin probably shouldn't have been brought on. Let's be honest. He did all right for me, and in the youth academy, didn't do all right against Spurs because he didn't get a fucking touch. But no, for me, with Chido Obi-Martin, you look at the likes of Xerxes, who isn't a prolific goal scorer, isn't high in numbers, and Rasmus Højlund has just been absolutely terrible because there's this comparison with strikers nowadays where are they good finishers or are they good link-up? Xerxes is very good at link-up, but prolifically, he's not too good. Where Højlund is just not good with link up or hold up or scoring at the moment. And this is where it comes back to with Ruben Amorim and maybe relying on some youth players, because these players are going to run through a brick wall for him. They're going to be more dangerous. They're going to be actually wants to prove themselves and getting into this first team. It's their opportunity. They've waited their whole lives for this opportunity. And Ruben Amorim has got an opportunity to use these kids to maybe save himself as well and buy himself some more time, because the fact that certain fans are already turning on Ruben Amorim for me is quite ridiculous. But we'll have to see how it goes. But I'm not sure actually this is my first actual thing on TikTok, so I really don't know what to do when it comes to comments and stuff. But yeah, for me, the way I look at it, I want to know people if they what they think on Ruben Amorim, because like for me, I back him no matter what. And that's just me. I back him no matter what. But I know there's quite a few fans out there who have shown frustration. And you are all right to feel your frustrations, because we are sat 15th in the league. You look at the way we played, and we're conceding less chances, but we're also creating less chances. And for me, the game against Spurs wasn't too bad. We lost, obviously, that's not good. But I don't think the game was that bad. And if Garnacho, for me, he was one of the main reasons why we lost that game. Obviously, he misses that massive chance in the first half. He refused to pass to Dorgu on the overlap. And this is where I say Ruben Amorim is going to be playing these same players week in, week out because he's got no options. Mason Mount's injured, Ahmad's injured, Mainu's injured, Agate's injured, Toby Collier's injured. The list goes on. And it is just absolutely frustrating to watch as a United fan. And at this point, you're there like, oh, United are going to ruin my weekend because they're going to lose. At this point, I'm expecting us to lose. And it's not, I look forward to watching United, but at the same time, it's just absolutely draining to watch. And yeah, I just want to know how Ruben Amorim is going to turn it around because I really like the system. I'm happy he's like kept to his word and he's sticking with the system because that's why I brought him in. We brought him in to play this 3-4-3 system, or what is it, the 5-2-3 formation, whatever formation it's actually known as with the wing backs. I'm just happy he stuck to it because that was one of the main issues Erik Ten Hag had when he first joined United. We lost to Brighton on the opening day. We lost to Brentford 4-0. And then he just sacked his style, his formation, and went back to winning ways straight away. Now, for me, I mean, Oliver, you've said, what do I think of Rashford leaving? I mean, for me, mate, I really think that he's done himself good because he's gone to a better team in Aston Villa because, let's be honest, they are a much better team than us. They've got a better attacking output. And right now, they've got a better manager. I mean, Ruben Amorim is unproven. And Unai Emery, for me, is a top-class coach and probably the right manager that Rashford needs at this point in his career. So I think the club are a bit of a disgrace that they haven't actually replaced the likes of Rashford or Antony for Ruben Amorim because that leaves us short up front. Now Ahmad's injured, so we're really looking short at the moment. But yeah, for me so far, I feel like Rashford leaving, I am gutted because I did back Marcus for so long. And I do think he's a very top class player. But at the same time, you look at it and you're like, you know, his heart wasn't in it. There was a report that he wasn't training hard enough, and Ruben Amorim practically said that he'd rather play the 100-year-old goalkeeping coach instead of Rashford if he's not going to train properly. So yeah, I would like to see the likes of Rashford do well because I want every single Manchester United player to do well, and I do really hope there's that tiny bit of hope where I do think that Rashford can save his relationship with Manchester United, but I think it's done personally for me. So we'll have to see how it goes. Ellis J3, what do you think the score tonight will be, Man City and Real Madrid? You know what? I feel like Man City are going to get something done here. I feel like Man City might win 2-0 because I watched them against Newcastle and Marmoush was brilliant. I mean, he scored an hat-trick in the first half and City just looked better. They looked more confident on the ball. They looked like themselves like they were last season, that dominating force. And, you know, they've started to get a few of their main players back. And, you know, I thought it was quite close, but City have proven this season that they've struggled seeing out games. I mean, the United game's a perfect example. Obviously, I was buzzing when United won 2-1 at the Etihad, but at the same time, it's like it's not just United, it's not just Real Madrid. They concede a lot of goals in them last 80 minutes, or the last 10 minutes of the 80th minute of the game. And yeah, but for some reason, I've got a weird confidence that City will get something tonight against Real Madrid. And I don't want them to. I want Real Madrid to absolutely batter them, be like a lion with a gazelle, absolutely rip them to parts. But yeah, for some reason, I've just got a gut feeling that City will win 2-0 tonight. That's my opinion. Reese, thank you, bro, as always. What are your true thoughts on Ineos? I mean, I'll get cancelled for that, so I can't say my true thoughts. But no, I generally think the Glazers 2.0. Because for me, first impressions count. First impressions definitely do count. And the way I look at it is that Ineos have ruined their reputation already at Manchester United. The videos are there on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel throughout the years. When the whole sale of the club was going through, I always said that I wanted the Qataris, not because it was state ownership, because I don't agree with it, but because it was 100% sell of the club. Now, the Glazers were going to say that Ineos would come in and buy 20 or 25%. I can't remember the statistics and the numbers, what they were going to buy at first. But I said I wanted Qatar because it meant 100% ownership and the Glazers would be gone. But unfortunately, the Glazers are still here with Ineos and we're just not getting any better. Yes, you could say they've changed it by bringing the proper footballing people in, but you look at Dan Ashworth, we chased him for about 6 or 7 months and he was in the job less than we were chasing him for, and now he's left. And they've made too many mistakes. Obviously, the sacking of staff, the wasting money on the likes of sacking Ten Hag, sacking Ashworth. Like, there's so much money that they've wasted and practically burnt onto a fire. They're not doing the club any justice, and obviously they're increasing the ticket prices. I'm a season ticket holder myself, and I look at it, and the atmosphere's it's horrendous in Old Trafford at the moment. I mean, the Stretford End is where I sit, and we always chant about £6 you're taking the piss. Like, we point towards his director's box where he would normally sit, and it's mainly Ratcliffe, because I don't really actually have an issue with the likes of Omar Barada or Jason Wilcox. I don't have any issue with them because they're doing their jobs behind the scenes, they're keeping quiet. But Ratcliffe's the guy who's pretty much what are them guys in medieval times where they'd might be strung on like wooden and you'd throw like rotten tomatoes at them and stuff. Like, pretty much Ratcliffe takes all the firing line because he's the face of Manchester United. He is the Manchester United owner, and he's the one who's making these decisions which are changing the way this club is run. And I'm getting sick of it because I have no faith and I don't know how to predict where this club is going to go. So it is really frustrating. But Oliver as well, Man City cheats, try fall over and get a penalty every time. They do, mate, honestly. But, you know, that's kind of what annoys me about United as well at the moment, because let's be honest, a lot of teams dive. I mean, if anyone watched the AC Milan game last night, Theo Hernandez, one of the world's best left backs, dived and got sent off for it. That was a correct decision. But realistically, I feel like United don't play the game enough, and I don't mean football. I mean, like, they play the ref or they play the advantage. Like, so many players go down too easy and win fouls too easy. I feel like United just don't have that mentality to win a game, and they just try and win on moments or rely on quality so much, and that's why we're letting ourselves down, because we're not playing to a system, we're not playing to a structure, and that's why I feel like the players and Ruben Amorim are letting themselves down. But let's keep talking about Ruben Amorim, because that's what this stream and video is all about. Now, what are your thoughts? I want to ask you guys in the comments, what are your thoughts on Ruben Amorim as well? And for me, with Ruben Amorim, I personally believe that he's doing the right job, but at the same time, he's been set up to fail, because you look at the likes of the January transfer window, we only bring in one left wing back in Patrick Dorgu. Obviously, we've got Diogo Leon as well coming in from South America in the summer, but it's not enough. You let Antony and Rashford both go in January, and what happens with now a down forwards because they haven't replaced him. But yeah, Zoc on YouTube, who is bro talking to, the crying emoji. I'm on TikTok as well, mate, so I am speaking to two devices at the moment. So yeah, I appreciate that, I guess. But no, yeah, Reese as well saying, I feel like we can't even judge him yet. Mate, I agree, but a lot of fans don't foresee that way. A lot of fans are fed up of him already, which for me is very frustrating, because he's not been in the job for a season yet. And it's just trusting the process. And we just have to see. But I want to know what everyone's opinions are on him as a character as well, because for me, I feel like he speaks very well in the press. He's quite honest, and he doesn't have to. He owes these players nothing. So if these players are not going to deliver for him and not going to work their ass off for the likes of Ruben Amorim, I don't blame him for calling them out, because he does want to be better for Man United. But I feel like that if he's gonna downplay the players and he's downplaying them in the media, what's he saying to them when it comes to training? Like, is he there? Like, let's say, for example, I don't know, Maguire makes a mispass and he goes, Maguire, you fucking donkey, fucking do it like this. Or does he be like, Maguire, keep it simple, or Maguire, go long, or something like that, or try again, or something? Like, for me, you've just, like, football's such a reactionary sport. We all know this. But United fans especially, I feel like we've got the best but worst fans in the world. Like you look at the support and the passion majority of United fans have. But at the same time, you've got some fans that just absorb and add to the negativity around the club, and it doesn't help. Like I know when the protests happen, I think it's before the Arsenal game we've got in a few weeks. There's going to be the 1958 protest like we used to do for the Glazers out. There's going to be a protest before the Arsenal game. And I'm pretty sure that with that, there's not going to be more than 100,000 fans that turn up to that, because obviously you're going to have a lot of the match going fans who are going to be it. So I think it'll be lucky if we have more than 20,000 actually attending that protest, when even though not many fans can go to every single home game like I have the privilege to, you've got the likes of the fans who can do their bit on social media and like make it well known. But not everyone fans does that. Zoc, you've said on YouTube saying, is there any info of Gyökeres at United? Not yet. I mean, Gyökeres is a striker that I would love. I feel like that. Obviously, the links are there with Ruben Amorim being the manager and him having a release clause of like 60 million euros, which is ridiculous, by the way. I feel like that 60 million euros or 60 million pounds, whatever it is for Gyökeres, is very, very cheap. So, but obviously, it just depends on our financial situation at the end of the season. But yeah, Reese has said that we have the best and worst. Literally, that's literally what I've said, mate. Literally, we have the best and worst fans in the world. It is very annoying. Charles, can you please shout out to my cousin George, who's a City fan and is preparing for a beating? Mate, I don't support any City fan. No, you know what? George, mate, Charles says give you a shout out. So shout out to you, bro. Reese as well, hit the sponsors where it hurts in the purse. Yeah, mate, absolutely. I mean, yeah, for me with sponsorships, we've been down that road. We've been down so many different ways with protesting, whether it's physical protests outside the stadium, whether it's online ones where we try and hit them where it hurts, like you said with the purse. We'll have to see how it goes with the likes of the future of the club. But so far as where I stand on Ruben Amorim, for me, I back him wholeheartedly. A lot of fans don't because they are frustrated with him. But for me, as it stands as well, I definitely think United and Ruben Amorim can do better. The players can definitely do better. And I feel like Ruben Amorim can still have it his own way, but something does need to change, whether it is a tactical change, whether it's a formation change, whether it is a player change. Something does need to change, because we cannot continue on this downward spiral that we have been, because we're a carousel at the moment. We're literally going round and round and round and round. Like it's honestly, it's like trying to walk up an escalator that's going downwards and you're trying to get to the top floor. Like it's hard because we're just staying in the same position over and over. And that's not just talking about this season. It's not just talking about last season. That's talking about so many years down the lines since Sir Alex Ferguson's retired, because we have been an absolute mess for well over a decade now. But yeah, Reese has said, even if we change to a back four, these players got a manager sacked doing that. Exactly. And I can't imagine Maguire in a back four either. No, I completely agree with you. Maguire in a back four would be... That's why Maguire looks so good in the back three, to be honest, because that's why he looked so good for England as well. But yeah, for me, I just feel like that with Maguire in a back four, that's where you ask yourself set to fail. I mean, I think De Ligt and Euro could definitely hold their own in a back two or a back four, should we say? And we have the likes of Dorgu and Dalot. Dalot being a fullback would suit that system, but Dorgu wouldn't. Dorgu is an attacking wing back. So would he be committed too far? Would he be able to be strong in the defensive duels? I don't think he will be. So for me, I'm just glad that Ruben Amorim's sticking with his formation. But we'll just see how it goes against Everton. But yeah, there will be a stream and a video talking about United and Everton on the channel tomorrow on YouTube. Well, maybe I'll do some sort of preview thing on YouTube. But yeah, I'll have to see how it goes. Just one last question here. Hi, mate. I haven't spoken to you in a while. What do you think of Lookman wanting to leave Atalanta? I mean, Lookman, he got a hat-trick in the Europa League last season, in the Europa League final, winning Atalanta. He's been brilliant. He has been brilliant, and I feel like that he's one of them players that's been a late bloomer. Obviously, he didn't do too well at Everton, but what he's done at Atalanta, he's skyrocketed with his price, and he's definitely a good player. I mean, I definitely have him at United because he's better than anything we've got at the moment, maybe apart from... And actually, no, he's probably better than anything we've got at the moment. He's better than the likes of... He's better than the likes of Ahmad, I think, Garnacho, Højlund and Xerxes. So I feel like that, for me at the moment, United, if we're going into this summer transfer window when it comes to United, we need to be identifying the right type of player. We need to stop identifying these up-and-coming wonder kids because we ruin wonder kids anyway. Let's honestly just try and build a solid foundation, a solid starting 11 that we can consistently get into the top 4, and then you can introduce the likes of the youth kids. Like right now, United rely on youth kids way too much. And that's not talking about right this second. This is talking about years upon end. You look at the likes of Adjan Januzaj for so many years ago, Mason Greenwood under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Marcus Rashford under Louis van Gaal, Garnacho under Erik Ten Hag. And I feel like that with Ruben Amorim, he will only bring in the youth players if they're ready. And right now, I feel like he doesn't feel like that they're... I feel like that with the likes of Ruben Amorim, he's going to protect these youth kids at the moment. Would you take him? He's saying he wants to. If he's saying he wants to join United, then I'd personally drive him from the airport myself because he's brilliant at finishing. He's rapid, and I feel like he with him playing at Everton already, he's got somewhat of knowledge of what the Premier League's like. I feel like United just need to identify these targets that are, let's say, for me, the age profile we should be targeting is between 23 and 26. Players that are ready to take that next step, players that are either about to go into the prime or about to start going into the prime. We need these players that are ready. And if you can get them on the cheap, whether it's 30, 40 million signings, then that's fine. Gunova saying United. Yeah, mate, absolutely. I love United. I can't do it as much as Angry Ginge, but yeah. And Ricky Parkin saying, do I prefer Garnacho or Rashford? That's a tough question. I mean, I love Rashford, but Rashford's not a United player anymore. So at this moment in time, I'm going to have to say Garnacho. I do feel like Garnacho has a lot of potential, but he is probably like the most frustrating player to watch at the moment. I mean, you look at the chances he had against Spurs, and he is just, he's frustrating and he's got potential. Would I sell him? No, I generally don't think. I think United would be idiots to sell him because, especially for the price tag of 60 million, I feel like with what Garnacho offers, you're not going to be able to get that back for 60 million. So, yeah, we'll have to see. My opinion on Hutchinson. Yes, the Bournemouth centre half, is it Hutchinson or something? I don't know how you pronounce it. For me, he would be my priority signing. If Ruben Amorim is going to be Man United's manager, for me, Hutchinson is quality. He is absolutely fucking mint. Excuse my language, but he is fucking mint. I remember when I went to the United game against Bournemouth, actually, at Old Trafford when we lost 3-0. And I said to my dad, I said, watch Dean Hutchinson today. And he turned around and was there like, who's he? And I was there like, honestly, he's going to tear us apart. And you look at the way he played against United at Old Trafford. And even if you look at the way he played throughout this season, he is going to be probably the most in-demand like centre-back in the world football. Like, he's definitely going to a big club and maybe Manchester United. So we'll have to see where his future lies. But yeah, honestly, everyone, I really appreciate everyone. TikTok, I might have to start doing lives more because 400 likes and so many people actually commenting and joining. I really, really appreciate it. I've never done streaming on TikTok before. So honestly, I really appreciate everyone who showed the support. And as always, people on YouTube as well, my home channel. So I'm not forgetting about you. Oh, Kieran, sorry, mate, I'm not seeing you comment. Why would anyone want to come here? I think we're done as a club right now. Yeah, mate, honestly, I completely agree. Well, I mean, I'll play for United. You know what? Match my salary at work and I'll play for Manchester United. I might not be that good, but I'll put up a shift. But anyway, everyone, thank you so much for all the support. I don't actually know how to turn this off on TikTok, so I'm going to turn it off on YouTube first. YouTube, comments, as always, thank you for watching as well. Commenting as always. And yeah, love to you all, and I'll see you in the next one.